Hi, welcome to the channel if you've never been here, and if you have been here, then welcome back. So today, what I'm hoping to do is write a piece of music within an hour. Now, this is going off of the most recent video I have about how LEGO music is creative and imaginative and full of potential. What I want to do today is take one of my LEGO minifigures and draw inspiration from it so that I can create music in the LEGO style. And so out of all of my minifigures, I felt like the one that made the most sense was this astronomer kid. What I really like about this minifigure is that you already see a lot of potential within the actual figure. This kid is really interested in space. He wants to see what's out there and imagine about what kind of adventure he can go on. And so what we're going to try and do is create music that matches that same vibe as a kid looking out into space and thinking about what could be out there and really just capture the creativity and imagination of a kid looking into space. So let's get started. All right, so let's get going. So as you can see, I've already pulled up, I would call it somewhat of a template that I got some instruments that I thought I might use in this track. I may not use all of these, and there might be some that I use that are not a part of this, but we'll just go along and see how it goes. Now, I have kind of a vague idea about what I want to do in terms of melody. I want something very spacey. That's not bad. I kind of want to save that for something later, I feel like. Yeah, something like that. So a little more subdued, a lot of reverb, a lot of space. I knew I wanted something kind of distant. You know, we're talking about space, so it makes sense to have a lot of space between the notes. I like that. I like that. I think that's good. So let's play it in. And then we can build around that. And as usual, I forget to press record on the things I'm supposed to record on. I already got it wrong. All right, we're going to do this right. Something like that. Now, when we talked about the idea of creative, imaginative music, we mentioned that the chord progressions are not as stereotypical. And so I want to kind of find a synth pad and create an atmosphere that is spacey and cool. And I know we're going to start with this chord. But we need to figure out how to work with it. What's Alien Water? That's not bad. That actually feels like a good like accenting kind of thing. If we have this pad, how does it sound in the bass? I like the sound of this for bass for sure. Ooh, okay, all right. Let's play. Let's play around for a second. Even just that little bit of subtlety. Tell you what, I'm gonna extend that for the sake of I want to, because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. It just makes sense for me to extend it out to 8 bars since we're in 4/4. But that means I do want a little bit of something to go on in that space. Mm. All right. No time for sneezes. We don't have enough time for that. Maybe like a little. Oh, no, no, no. That's what this little accentuating part can be. If it just kind of waves in and out, I feel like that's going to have a really nice effect. Yeah, that's fun. And then we can get... So let's keep this going for at least 4 more bars so that our main melody can be heard better. All right, let's try and remember what else we got here. We got some pulses. I feel like I want this to be a little more. A little more subdued. Let's bring down the volume too. And maybe we can start that when the melody comes in. What about this whitewash? How's this? This is giving the same effect as this instrument down here, but with a little more pulse to it. So yeah, let's just keep this, but I do want to play around with the sound of it for a second. For one, let's... If we do chords, it might be more fun. Okay, it needs to happen after. It needs to happen after the melody. All right, what else do I have? Arpeggios. If I remember right, I do need to set up the arpeggios of these. And I know I want them to just be kind of shaped by me. So if our melody is... Which that sounds really cool for a melody. But let's just see how it sounds with the arpeggio. If we put all of those notes together in an arpeggio. It's kind of unrecognizable as an arpeggio. That could be because of the delay. It could be because high sustain. Let's play with... Oh, where'd you go? What did I just do? Did I turn that off? I did. Okay. So let's play with... If we bring that down... That's fun. I don't know that it's exactly what I want. So I need to find some kind of configuration for this to make sense. Maybe I do keep it kind of ambiguous and then when I change chords, it can just be like... Okay, I just accidentally came up with a chord progression that I feel like I really like. So if we have D, take it down to C, and then an E major, and then where would we go from there? Just back to D. No, it needs to go somewhere else. All right, so D, from that E major. So an E major wants to lead to A, so maybe if we just go to the A major. Where are my fingers? Where are my fingers? Where are my fingers? But I feel like going back to the D, it needs to go. It needs to keep going. It needs to keep going. So D, C, D minor, C major, E major, A major. We are playing a little bit into the optimistic sound that we talked about when we talked about epic music. So I like that. But going from the A major, where do we go from there? D major. D major's fun. Oh, too dark. So D major. What would be interesting? Maybe B flat. Oh, that does sound cool. And then from there, okay, I think I have an idea. So if we do this D minor chord down to C, we go up to E major, right? E major? Where are my fingers? E major, then we go to the D major, then if we go to B flat, then E flat, and then D. Okay, all right. We're sounding very spacey. Very spacey. So how much do we want to space this apart? Okay, so maybe for this, I do want to. I forgot to put up a time code. So we're looking at like a little over a minute. That's not bad. That's not bad for our time frame. So yeah, if everything gets a couple of beats. So let's go back here and let's just set up basics. So I think that's all we have down here. And let's get our chord progression. So we have D, then C, and then we're going to go to E major, next? Gotta wait and see. It's gonna be crazy. Yep. E flat major. And then I really like an accent that I had a minute ago. Who doesn't love a good sustained note? A sustained chord, not a sustained note. All right, so let's just quantize this to make my life a little bit easier, and then merge those together. So now I have this arpeggio, or pulse, it's a synth pulse. Mimic the same thing. Okay, so if that's, all right, we want to make this transition as easy as possible. So if this is those, I might prefer to go down to like the E and the G. Okay, I like that. I like that. It's a nice little pulse. One little note can change a lot of things. And I think that's where I'm going to leave that for now, in case I want to change my mind on any stuff. All right, so we've established a melody with this. Do the same thing. Okay, I was playing around, but I'm going to add that in because I like it. Let's make sure these are quantized because we like, in terms of speed, we like for things to make sense. So. Why is that one so aggressive? Alright, so in music for Lego Fortnite, they mentioned that they only used 5 notes in a variety of ways. We're obviously doing more than that because of our chord progression, but what if we can stick our melody with, what is this, D, C, G, A, B. So we got I'm about to make an 80s techno song or dance, whatever they call it. It's not techno. All right, so what else do we have to work with here? I have these arpeggios that I was talking about earlier, and we got how high do I want to make this? If it goes up too much higher, I'm going to need to bring the volume down a considerable bit. All right, let's hear it. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. Let's go to D major. like it. Let's add it in. Cool. What do these other arpeggios sound like? I'm not sure how I'm going to use that one. I mean, what does that sound like up high? Ooh. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, that sounds very, very digital, and I like it, but I'm not sure what to do with it yet. But this. Okay, I'm kind of tempted to just take this arpeggio, bring it down here, and just lower the volume. Alright, so here comparison. Here it is without the new brightness. It's kind of nice. And then add it in. Cool. I like it. Okay, let me go down here to percussion. So, ooh, actually, cool. So I'm not going to do it right now because of time constraints, but I do have a tongue drum, which sounds like this. And it sounds very quiet right now. I might need to add a bit of compression on there just to make it heard. And for time's sake, we're just gonna find something, some preset. What preset? Piano? Okay, maybe it's not a compressor I need. Maybe I just maximize it for a second. Let's see. Is there any piano thing for... what is loud and proud? Okay, so I actually have one of these, and I will probably record it in later. But since we're using those notes that are natural to a C major scale, my tongue drum, which is in C major, can probably play along with this as long as I keep within that scale. I'm not liking it a ton. I did take the reverb off of this. Maybe it sounds a little better with or we could just go with the Celeste. I've used the Celeste a lot with these minifigure compositions just because they're childlike and they're fun. So maybe... oh, this one's really, really quiet too. I'll just move that over. Goodness, how loud do you need this to be? Loud pop piano. Loud. Oh, why is nothing with Musio loud enough for me right now? I mean, it could be that I'm just in the studio mix. Let's activate mono. And while we're thinking about that, let's go ahead and go down to the strings. All right, so the question is, where do I want strings to be introduced? Maybe right here. Yeah, that seems like a good enough spot. Let's condense these down so I can see a little bit better what I am doing. And where are we at? 27 times start. Do I want this lower? Maybe I'll play with cello first. Okay, so I'll probably just do octaves with cello and bass. I know that it's overdone and cliche, but we're being fast. We're being easy. So let's be fast and easy. Okay. So then I will just, copy and paste, move it down. Did that move down? Can you even hear it? Or does it need a little more oomph? Oh, too low. Actually, you know what? I think I'll have the cello and the basses double each other. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right. So if I have violins, maybe they can kind of slowly accent a similar melody, but melody. So that's the thing. If we go to our goal is to keep D, G, A, B, C. What fits? That fits. Oh, does that just work? Does it just work? Am I being stupid? Should I have thought about this before? Does it just work fine? Let's play. Let's play for a second. It works. It literally works. And it works in the weirdest way, because, like, it doesn't make any sense. No, it makes perfect sense. But the reason I'm talking about it is because, okay, so I need like a piano or something to really like show this off. Not like, all right, this will work. So you can kind of see the piano down here. So the notes of actually, let me use the pad because it's going to let me do more than one. The notes that we have in our chord are B flat. I don't even know if you can see that very well. Whatever, I don't have time to pull up a whole piano just to explain this. So let me just explain this really quick. B flat, D, F, and B flat. Those make up a major B flat chord. The notes that I'm using are in the B flat major scale. So B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. So all of these notes I'm using are in the B flat scale, but what it does is it changes the sound of the B flat major chord because I'm using notes that aren't natural to the chord. I start in that D, which is a part of the chord, but then go up to the C, which would make this a B flat major 9. Is this too quiet to be showing off? Oh, it's because I'm using synth art. Why am I not using the things I... Yeah, okay. There. That's the B flat major 9. And then when it goes down to the G, okay, that is a B flat 6, major 6. And then it goes to the B flat major 7, which would then, when that resolves to the E flat in a minute. Ooh. Oh, I am jazzy. Oh, I'm feeling so jazzy. Okay. I love this. I love it. So I'm going to have the violins reflect that same melody, and then I'm going to come back up here and find a synth lead that I want to really take charge of it. Actually, let me do that first so I know how quiet I need the violins to be. That's cool, but a little hard rocky. Let me play around the settings of this a little bit. I don't know if it's the cutoff, if there's some kind of... Maybe I just need to go higher. Okay, let's go with that. That felt kind of aggressive. We'll see how it plays out here in a second. I feel like we do need a little more space to make that heard a little bit better. What am I doing? Go back over here. Yeah. So maybe the melody really is carried by the violas more. Why are you doing that? Oh, it's because of my expression. All right. Or my little knobs. So maybe the violin takes the melody and sends the accent. why this is happening, but I do not care for it. All right. I keep forgetting that I changed rhythms. All right. 2, 3, 4. Let me just set the expression where it needs to be and stop playing around with knobs. All right. Is there a way that I can do this with the same notes that I used before? So in that, if we have an E flat chord, E flat major, we're looking at E flat, F, D could work, G could work, the A would not. A would not work, because you'd have that weird clash. And the B would not work. So these are the chords these are the notes that you could use is C, D, and G. So if I play around. I'll just leave it for how it is right now because we are running out of time. Okay, now I'm going to fill in these inner voices a little bit. Okay, so let me think. So I have B5 down here. Boom. If I just had a simple chord with both the viola and the violin, and they start on the, if everything starts on the D, if they go, and then split, like, so I'm going to play this Divisi. So a little bit of a technical term. Divisi is when you take an entire section of an orchestra, typically strings, and you tell them, play two different parts. And so you'll have half the section play one thing, half the section play another thing. Technically, you're not supposed to do this with just one sample patch because I can't split the amount of people sampled in this patch, but I think it's going to sound okay. I think it's going to sound fine. So if I just go, and then there's the B flat, and then we're going to go to the B flat. Okay, let's do it. I want a little more movement in the strings, actually. So let's get... Let's just play. Let's just play. All right, so violas then need to be playing down around here. They can probably double this for the beginning. Wait, no, I think we need... That's what we're going to do. All right. I missed my cue again. All right, let's do it. And I forgot what I was doing. All right. One more time. Nice. Okay. I do need to bring down... like it. What I do feel like I want to do is bring the entire section down a little bit. And this is just my weird way of doing this. I know I can make a whole group track, but I'm trying to be fast. I also feel like we need a little more legato in this legato. So this thing. There was something else I thought sounded like it would be good. I can't remember what. What did I think would sound good for something else? Sounds like a fighting game from, like, you know, the arcade and stuff. Okay, so maybe if this was a little more subdued. It almost sounds like brass in a sense. But if that does not sound like space and aliens from like the 1960s, ooh, okay. But I like the swoop. It's not just bum bums bum, and I like the little swoop. So the way that we do that is we're gonna take these two notes. Come on. Actually, let's just extend everything, like that. But I don't want the swoop down. I feel like this is a good spot. This chord is a good spot for another little, like, oh, go back there. But what did I think? Whitewash would be good for that too? Just a little accent. So let's hear it. Cool. And let's get those closer to the edge. Make sure they kind of stop after that so they have time to fizzle out. Okay, so what next? What else do we have here? So we got this. We already have these arpeggios up here giving us brightness back here. So maybe those to come in a little bit quieter, I think. Oh, I'm running out of time for these things. Okay, I'm losing the arpeggio. Or the pulse. I'm losing the pulse, so I need a pulse back. Maybe I can use one of these like a pulse. No, but I like that. Why haven't I used that yet? I'm just going to throw that in there because I like that. But I feel like later on it needs to fill out some of that space. No pun intended. Okay, so maybe just throw that in there just to accent the chords that are happening. Give it a little more body, as it were. I do feel like it needs to be a little bit quieter. Can I just say that's my favorite part of this entire thing? Like, I'm sorry, I know I've only got like a few minutes left, but can I just take a second to just appreciate how fun that is? That we have like all of this like cool, spacey, sciencey stuff. Like, it's great. And then it just hits you. I love that so much. Okay, I am running out of time. So I got strings. What do you do again? Ah, yes. The fighter. Okay, so I have you set down as a synth arpeggio. What if I just do chord? How about eighth note? What is my other pulse doing? Other pulse is doing eighth notes. It's set at 116, but it's doing eighth notes. There's a little bit of delay and reverb to it. So let me play around with this synth. I know I don't have a lot of time, but here I go. Okay. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Wait, is this set to mono? Let me just hear this for a second. Oh, I have it soloed. That was pretty off, but we're gonna just whoop. Now it's not off. Needs to come down. Be felt more than seen. All right, So I've only got a few minutes. I need to make this loop, but my trouble is I don't think it's going to loop very well right now because it's kind of loud here near the end and very quiet at the beginning. So what I want to do is just add a couple more bars and have everything that doesn't make sense kind of fade away. Let's start with strings. So with strings, if we bring this out even just that much further, okay, bring it that much further, and what we're going to do is have everything that is a D or an A stick around. Why did it just die? Actually, I think what would make more sense with this, let me work with just the synths for a second. So synths, come out to the edge. I'm on the edge. And just DNA, of which right now these are just... Okay, that works. That works fine for me. Now for these, I'm going to extend all of it. There you are. You are no longer needed. I didn't even touch percussion in this at all. It's just synths and everything. So this is going to take just a second, but what I'm going to do is actually, hold on. I need to do this with strings anyway. Get it all out to here. And what I'm going to do is take these tracks and turn them into audio instead of MIDI, which should happen fairly quickly. I'm hoping. Come on, go faster. Okay, 24 seconds. I can work with 24 seconds. And all I am wanting to happen is for things to slowly fade away. This is, for those of you wondering what it looks like to compose something, this is a lot of it. Waiting for things to happen. Waiting for things to load and making sure you don't forget to save. I do want to go ahead and render these in place as well. Render with current settings. Go, 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 go. We are running out of time. Let's go. All right. So all we do is take this and we're just going to have a little bit of a... Oh, I can't do that with those synths, can I? I can do it with Alien Water, but not with Age of Solitude. So I'll do it with Alien Water. And then scoop, poop, scoobity-doop. All right, so again, little fade out, little fade to nothing, fade to black if this was Metallica. For the strings, I am going to have a little bit longer of a fade out. I wanted to start getting quieter sooner. So I'm going to have all of that time for it to fade away. And let's just check and see. All right, so what I might be able to do is with with this arpeggio. Wait, I forget. Yeah. So now I'm going to render it in its place and have it fade out a little bit quicker than everyone else. Look, I know what time it is. I am well aware of what time it is, but it's just this last thing. This last thing. Come on, cut me a break. So if this is just going to fade out a little bit sooner. Then the overall effect. Okay, I like that loop. That made sense to me. I feel like it worked well. Technically, was it exactly an hour? We'll see. But without further ado, let's listen to the full track for the Astronomer Kid. And that's it. I'm hoping to get this fully mixed and mastered and sent out so that you guys can see the full product here very soon. But I want to take a second and say thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you go back and watch some of the content that I made about LEGO video games. And if you would like to see more, hit the subscribe button and the little bell to be notified next time I release a video about either creating original music for LEGO minifigures or about the world of LEGO video game music. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.